Student loans. Talk about a bunch of hype, at least in my opinion. I think student loans are extremely overhyped in today's society. I am for student loans in moderation. I personally still have student loans. I am still paying off my student loans, and I am for them. So first, let me explain. There's two types of student loans that I know of from the government. There's the subsidized ones, and there's the unsubsidized. So the way the subsidized ones work are, first of all, you have to qualify for aid. So if you're under 24, you're considered independent in the eyes of financial aid here in the U.S., and you can apply for these student loans without including the income of your parents. So that's a huge advantage. Now, if you're under 24, you have to include your parents' income. So subsidized are for people with lower income. So if you have lower income, you qualify for these subsidized loans. And how it works is they'll give you money, a couple thousand a semester, and you don't pay any interest on it until 6 months after you graduate. So like, let's say you graduate, right, and then you go to grad school, then there's still no interest. You have a 6-month deferral period. That was my situation, right? I got a bachelor's degree, and then I went to graduate school, and then they were deferred again. And then after I finished graduate school, I had a 6-month grace period. I think it was 6 months, or it might have been a few months. And then I started paying off the loans, right? So subsidized, you don't pay any interest until 6 months after you graduate. And there's all kinds of programs that help you if you can't pay. I had a really good friend from Sweden, a really great guy, and he got a statistics degree. And he could not find a job. He was working at some warehouse, and times were hard. So he called them up, and they gave him a deferment. So they will work with you. At least that was his story, right? That was his specific situation. Unsubsidized is a bit different. I'm pretty sure in those, you start paying interest right away when you take out the loan, right? So I think student loans are fantastic. I mean, no other type of loan allows you to do that, right? If you take out a personal loan, you're going to be paying interest on it right away. There's no other type of loan, especially unsecured loan, that allows you to do that. And plus, student loans give you the ability to get a job, right? If you take out a $4,000 student loan and you do that 5 times, it's 20 grand. Okay, you get your degree and you owe 20 grand, but you have a bunch of years. It's something like 10 years to pay it back. I mean, people are paying more than that for cars, right? An education is worth a lot more than that, in my opinion. So now there are people who take out student loans for larger amounts. I had a good friend. I won't mention his name. He got his PhD in mathematics, and I know for a fact that he had over 100 grand in student loans from his undergrad program. He had done like computer science, bachelor's/master's at a really top school, and then he changed his mind to math. His story was that the computer science degree was too hard, so he switched to math. I always think like, wow, it must have been a pretty hardcore program, right? I guess it was a master's situation, so a little bit harder than the math he was taking. Anyways, he got his PhD, and now he has 100 grand in debt. So not great for him, but hopefully it works out. So I think there's a limit. So if you're thinking about taking out student loans, you should consider how much you're taking out. I think 20 grand is a good top number. For me personally, that would have been my top number. I don't recall how much I took out personally. I know it was under 20 though. So if you're thinking about taking out student loans, just sift through the hype, right? Just do it. If it's going to allow you to go to school and not work and focus on your math classes and focus on your studies, then it is totally a positive thing. Let me know what you think. Are you for student loans? Are you against them? Obviously, I think I'm against them if it's over 100. Unless you're going to med school or law school, in which case, in theory, you make more money with those jobs. I don't really have any opinions on that. So let me know what you think.